coming in, yeah. Flex, I just wanna win, yeah. LABB, who we running with, yeah. 2233, I'm on 10 again.
This is elospeaks back again with another video. And this topic video, I wanted to talk about the recent events that happened in the NBA world right now. So as we know, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets had squared off. It was KD versus Kevin Durant, and it was a huge game, a great game. I wanted to congratulate the Milwaukee Bucks on winning. Giannis had a monster game. I think he dropped like 44 points. And Kevin Durant had a decent game as well. He had like 26, 10 and 8. Excuse me. Very efficient game. It went down to the wire, and it went down to the last shot by KD. He ended up missing, and of course, as we know, Kevin Durant ended up missing the shot, and you already know how the NBA world is. There was going to rain down criticism on KD, and how he wasn't able to make the shot, and it was a similar situation to the playoffs of last season, and how he wasn't able to close, and etc. But I didn't really want to talk about it. What I really wanted to go in was that troll on Nick Wright, and how he said some like really unnecessary personal attacks on Kevin Durant the other day. So you can see from the tweets that he had put up of Kevin Durant, etc. There was like some tweets saying he said he felt bad for Kevin Durant, always coming up second in life, just when he thought he was gonna surpass LeBron James. Giannis comes to take it, second in the draft, second in NBA, just everything overall as a second player. And then Kevin Durant responded to him saying, "Don't worry, God, my life's great. See you later, Nikki." And you already know how Nick Wright was. He was petty. He's like, if you're a god, what is Giannis, etc. And it just shows you the unnecessary biasness in the mainstream media in terms of who's covering who, how they're being covered, and etc. I don't like it, because while certain aspects of it is entertaining and funny, but there's certain aspects of the sports mainstream media where it's just disgusting. You could see in certain aspects where certain media pundits are like, you could just tell they're bought off. Like Nick Wright, he's bought off. Shannon Sharp bought off. Colin Carr bought off. Nick Acho's bought off. You could just see how they cover athletes. Everything revolves around LeBron, and then is the NBA else. After LeBron James is kicked out of the playoff contention, then they have to actually do their jobs and cover the NBA as a whole. But they still find certain ways to insert LeBron James here and there in the conversation, and even if there's no need for it. And then, as we know, there's the constant LeBron James versus Michael Jordan debate that's been going on since 2016. Ad nauseum, is getting tiresome at this point. And then after that, for some strange reason, any player that could potentially be a threat to LeBron James gets lambasted in the media, and that goes to Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, Paul George, and etc. Those guys right there, that could potentially, that's a threat to LeBron James. Those guys get it the worst, because they see those guys as a threat to dethroning LeBron James. And that's the part of the reason why Giannis Antetokounmpo gets I'll call it shadow banned from the media, because they see that he's on the next come up too, but they still want LeBron James to win as much championships as he can before Giannis or KD take over. So again, it was just petty shots by Nick Wright. I feel like it was unnecessary, but again, this is the only thing he has to look forward to, because LeBron James is struggling just to be in the play-in tournament, or he's struggling to make the play-in tournament, and better yet, playoffs. And now that LeBron James is on the verge of missing that, he needs to take his anger and angst on somebody, and the nearest person he could do it was KD, because he's been talking trash about the Brooklyn Nets all season, calling them overrated, not winning championship basketball, saying that they're not good enough to win a title, etc. Even though the Lakers are a dumpster fire of a team themselves. At least I can say that the Brooklyn Nets are in the playoffs, and the reason that their situation that they're in right now is because of team chemistry and injuries, and they don't have their full roster back together. Along with Ben Simmons, that's a whole other story with itself on when he's gonna come back. But again, this was a cheap shot by Nick Wright. He's a troll, and he doesn't get respect from a lot of people, especially from me, because this is the reason why he doesn't get a vote for the NBA MVP vote, because of stuff like this. He's biased as hell, and it shows in how he operates and covers certain players. He demeans other athletes. He demeans Hall of Famers, especially when he juxtaposes against LeBron James. And another video I wanted to make was how Shannon Sharp trying to compare LeBron James and Tom Brady. That's the video where I'm going to make, because there's no comparison between the two in terms of how great the athletes are. And that's just championship, but overall character, etc. I'm not saying Tom Brady's a good guy in itself, but again, they're just two different guys. And the way that they cover LeBron James is damn near robotic at this point. It's like you're watching robots try to sell you BS propaganda narratives. And it's like, if you're a young idiot, then you'll probably fall for this crap. But if you know better, you can see through the BS and see that they're just propaganda narrative that LeBron James sent out, trying to make excuses for them, and etc. But again, this was a cheap shot by Nick Wright in the tweet that he put out recently about Kevin Durant and his recent loss to the Milwaukee Bucks at OT. I feel like it was unnecessary. I feel like it was unprofessional. And this is why people like Skip Bayless and Nick Wright get responded to. I mean, I wouldn't respond to those clowns, but again, people respond to them because they talk flat at the mouth. But then as soon as someone of high status responds, or if the athletes themselves responds, then they want to call the athletes sensitive. They'll say they're soft, etc. When they have a right to respond and they have the right to defend themselves, especially if somebody is attacking them in the media, saying a whole bunch of slanderous things against them. I feel like you do have a right. I don't like that KD's on social media responding to trolls like Nick Wright or other like regular people, but again, it's his Twitter. He has the right to do what he wants to do. If he wants to respond to Nick Wright, hey, that's him. Go ahead, have a ball. But again, I just feel like he shouldn't do that. But hey, we're just two different people. We see the world too differently. Maybe in a way it is good for him, because this type of, I don't know, going back with fans on Twitter, I don't know, for some reason it fuels Kevin Durant. It makes him play better. And if that's what gets you up to go play ball, hey, have at it. Then I hope Nick Wright gives you all the fuel you need, because you're going to need it when playoffs come and it's time to go on a championship run. But those are my thoughts and opinions on the matter. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. Do you think what Nick Wright said was out of bounds, inbounds? Let me know. Let me know in the comment section. This elospeaks out. Peace.
Coming in, yeah, flex. I just wanna win, yeah. LABB, who we running with, yeah. 2, 2, 3, 3. I'm on 10 again.